to other people. And that's always been my prayer. Say, Father, Lord, if you would bless me and I can't bless people with it, I don't want it. It's a crazy prayer, but I genuinely don't want it. And that's the honest truth. So if the motive behind you loving money or getting rich or having more money is not right, then you probably need to check that before you pray to have more. And that's just from my point of view. So just going back to, so I came back to the UK at the age of 16. I came in and Mommy had everything. We had everything. We had properties galore. We lived in Abuja and all this stuff. When there were no wearing clothes, that's when we lived in Abuja. Not now that it's nice and posh, you know. And came back because I failed every exams. I was an embarrassment to my mother, and she just said, "Look, you've got your passport. Just come back to the UK." And I came back, stayed with a friend, Mommy's friend, and. Ladies, you know, like after a while, when you've worn your clothes once or twice, you don't want it anymore, and you just bang it somewhere. She would sell that to me because I didn't know any better. So I got work in McDonald's. She's like, "Oh, £12, Caroline. When you get paid, you're owing me £54 of used clothes that she's selling to me because I didn't know any better." Fast forward, did I go to college? No, because she thought, "Look, you're a British citizen, no one's going to send you packing, you don't have to go to college, go and work." And I didn't know any better. I did exactly what I was told, and that was it. And I got a job as a cleaner in a company. But prior to that, I started to something called a company called Sight and Sound, and I started to do typing, like as a typist, learning that part-time. So I worked as a day cleaner in a company, an insurance company, and they asked for a typist or for a filing clerk, and I put my CV on their desk. And lo and behold, because I was a day cleaner, they realized, "Oh, we like you. We'll just give you the job anyway without interviewing." And that's how I got the job as a filing clerk in an insurance company. It's, I don't know, for people that know insurance, Aon Group. So I'm talking a long time ago, way before I started my business. And that's that. Character. That's number one. Character.
Yes.
Takes you places. More than you could ever imagine. Character is what opens the door. But guess what? Anyone can open the door for you. But character is what keeps you there. So people can connect you. Relationships can connect you. Sunday can connect me with so many people. But the only reason I'll stay connected and get benefits is because of my character. And I like to talk, when I'm talking, I like to always leave people to say, take note of what are you going to change from today. So please do listen, and if there's anything you think resonates with you that you need to do differently from tonight, tomorrow is Monday, I would ask you, I urge you to please do that. Because that's the start of better things for you. Coming in to listen, have a meal, network, and look glam, and go back and be the same, it's not the answer to it. So that means tonight's wasted. Time is one thing you can never get back. The time you spent here tonight will never get back. So what have you used your time for tonight? Fast forward, I lived in a hostel because I didn't have a place. I had cockroaches in my flat. I squatted in a flat. I lived in a hostel and so on, with druggies and all that. So I started work in the insurance company as a filing clerk for so long. Within 6 months, a vacancy came up. I changed jobs again, and 12 years later, I got headhunted within various companies within the city. That's by the way. But I knew there was something missing. I just wasn't satisfied. After 6 months, I got bored. I knew I wanted more, but I couldn't explain it. It's not this day and age where you have mentors and everyone talking to you, events like this. You didn't have those when I was growing up. And I literally just didn't know what to do. After a while, I was made redundant from my insurance company, and my husband said, "Oh, what are you going to do next?" I said, "I don't know." So I said, oh, maybe something to do with children. And this time, I didn't have any kids. I didn't know anything about children. I hated, this is not recorded, I hated children. It's so embarrassing to actually say that as a woman. I genuinely could not stand kids at all. And you don't think I work with children. So if you had children here now, I'd be like, look, I work with them Monday to Friday. I don't need anyone around me on Saturday, Sunday, like. And my friends, well, you work with children. Yes, and your point is, so. But yes, so, and I thought, okay, let's retrain. And I thought, okay, I'll retrain. So I went to every courses there was, part-time, and still working in the city. But this time, I was getting work sent home to me, and I was working from home and stuff. And that's how I started the first childcare setting. It sounds so straightforward and so easy. It's like I'm brushing through everything. I've only got half an hour, so I do apologize. But you can ask me questions later. The first one started, it was so tough. The second one started, and that was tough. And I thought, never again, I've had enough. I would never ever start another one because managing people is just the worst. I couldn't deal with human beings. It was just too much. It's crazy. And then I had schools approaching me to start to do, that they want to do business with me. As opposed to me going to them, they started to come to me. So, and because if you remember at the beginning, I said I like money, right?
Yeah.
So the way I interpret it is like they're offering me money on a platter plate, and I'm saying no. So see, the love of money is not very good, is it? So literally, that's how I started. And then it went on to the 15 we have now, which we're grateful for. Do we have challenges? Oh my goodness. Childcare is very regular. What is it? Regulatory? She thinks I speak like
regulated.
It's a regulatory setting where we have really strong regulations that you have to adhere to because you're dealing with vulnerable people. And for me, is how do you manage the team that you work with for them to understand your value, so for them to understand what you're about, and still scale up your business from 1 to 15. So we have 15 branches in London, and we also franchise our nurseries. And these are nurseries for children between the ages of 0 to 5 years. I definitely would know, I know it's definitely not me. It's definitely not how smart I am or how good I am, and it's him up there.
Amen.
But it's the fact that one, character. Number 2 is people. How do you treat people? Relationship is very, very key to everything you do. Relationships in here today is key to everything you do. In terms of the finance of how we got the money, the first one was funded by the government. They gave us, I think £8,000 or something like that. The second one, they gave us 16,000. After the second one, they said, no more, Caroline, you can afford to fund your own settings yourself. Even though they were giving other people money. And that's it. So again, is how much do you know with regards to what's out there for you? There's so much out there. Depending on the industry you're going into, there's so much money out there that the government don't know what to do with. And they're looking for people like yourselves, myself, to tap into it. But you've got to link up with the right people, and you've got to pay the right price for you to get the right information. Can we just go to my slides quickly? Thank you so much. So this is about me. That's the hostel I lived in. That's the house where I lived with lots of cockroaches. I had to move out, and I literally then moved into a hostel. Can we go to the next slide, please? Right, so we're talking about here, what is it about business? Richard Branson said business is simply an idea of you making other people better. Whose lives are you changing? Whose lives are you adding value to? What business is it you're looking to start? What is it it's going to do to other people? So for example, I say as a childcare practitioner, I am solving mommy's problems or childcare problems. Property developer, they're solving property problems. However, if you really want to narrow it down further, the one thing I want to do to Sundays, I actually want to do properties for the less privileged. And I don't even know how that's going to happen, but I'm determined I want to do something like that. So you can imagine how many people are really at the bottom of the ladder, really, really at the bottom. It's a number game. So that's where that smartness comes into it. It's a number game. I had a professor when I was doing my master's. Can you imagine? I didn't pass a single thing and I ended up doing a master's. I don't know how. And he went to Kenya and he bought this Nokia phone, you know, the olden days Nokia phone with no camera. And he is a multi-millionaire because in Kenya, he bought it at a very cheap price so he can sell it to the lowest of the lowest in Kenya. So not the rich ones. There are not too many of them rich, but the lowest of the lowest. That it's a number game. So are you thinking that way? Because sometimes you're thinking, oh yeah, but if I'm selling it for, I don't know, 500 naira or whatever, that's not a lot of money, but it's a number game. And there's so many people that can afford 500 naira as opposed to people that can afford the 50,000 or 100,000. And that's where that smartness comes into it.
Thank you.
So have you even thought about looking at that segment of the market? Because there are people there and they want to feel like that sense of belonging as well. So for me, those are key areas that one can tap into. And even here in the UK, what is your big idea? No, that's fine, thank you. So I'm looking at 5 things here, which you all know. So, but in between, I'm gonna share 1 or 2 things about myself. Can we look at the first one, please? Thank you so much. The first one here, no, next, yeah, that's it. You all know you need a business plan. I'm sure you asked me, do I have one? And I know it's so hard to do one. It is so hard. It is so hard. You pay people to do it. I don't have one. Why don't I have one? In 18 years of being in business, because it's not relevant to me. Like, I don't need your money. Like, really, for you to put money into my business right now, we're talking millions. And I just don't need the money, like, for that. Maybe for something else. And this is it. So depending on the business you're going into, and if you need to get money from other sources, definitely you need it. But the one thing I never compromise on is something called a cash flow forecast. I never ever compromise on it. It doesn't matter how tiny the business is, I would always do a cash flow forecast. Because, for example, if I came to you, sis, and I said to you, Sister Lara, that, okay, you said you want to start a business, and I'm like, okay, how much do you need? And you said 100,000. Okay, for me as a businesswoman, if I have the 100,000, I wouldn't give it to you all at the same time. I'll say, turn your business into 3, break it down into 3 segments. What do you need at the beginning, the middle, and the end? Because that makes it easier for me as well to be able to give you that money. But if you don't know what you need at the beginning, the middle, and the end, how do you just tell me you need 100,000? You've just lost my money. Because I wouldn't want you to lose. Because if I gave you 30,000 at the beginning, and you go and buy yourself a Mercedes and all that stuff, it just means Caroline, keep the rest 70 in your pocket. Because you do have people that think like that.
Yeah.
So that's why you need a cash flow forecast. You're able to give that to whoever is giving you the money to say, look, this is what I need at the beginning, this is what I need at the middle, and this is what I need at the end. And that person definitely will be willing to give you that money. So never compromise on the cash flow forecast. If you haven't got anything else at all, if you don't do anything else, that is one thing you never compromise on. Thank you so much. The next thing I say is business insurance. There's so many things you need when you're starting a business, and it depends on who you're talking to and what business you're going into. But for me, quite a lot of us, we're very blessed enough as Africans. We do lots of, obviously, childcare settings, we do care facilities, we do property, and so on. All of these areas are regulated fields that if you're not careful, they can make or break your business easily. Especially the fact that you're dealing with people, even as a coach or speaker or whatever. I actually hear they sue you now if you don't have, if they're not getting results based on the advice you give them. That's crazy, right? They will tell you they're the one that they're not doing what you've told them to do, but they would sue you for not getting results. So that's why you have to protect yourself constantly. And as Africans, we most of the time We don't do that. You just think it's a waste of money. And you don't do that. And you can't do stuff like that. Somebody said we have 70, or Kemi said we have 7. We have over 95 staff. We actually sit now and schools approach us to come and work with them. I don't go searching anymore. Or even if I go search, I'm like, okay, we're buying the property. If we're not buying the property, we don't want it. We give them our terms. It's a nice place to be when you're able to give your terms and tell people, these are my terms, take it or leave it. Because they're the one that are desperate. So insurance is key. Thank you so much. The next one, I said business partners. So I've got here. So business partners, relationship. There's a saying that I think they said it's an African proverb actually. It says, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, yes, exactly. So and that's it. That's relationship. And I'll be honest, I don't have a business partner. And that's only because I started a long time ago. And eventually, by the time I could think, maybe if I get someone to join me, I just couldn't be bothered. I genuinely couldn't be. I think I call myself a very lazy person. And I'll tell you why. Because I want to wake up. I'll be awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'll be thinking business. I'll be writing things down. And I'll go straight to the office. I'll be there till probably 7 or 8. But at the same time, if I want to travel, I don't expect someone to say to me, my business partners, Caroline, you can't go because we have this to do. No, it just won't work. So maybe a new business, but with the one I do at the moment, I don't have a partner because I just feel I'm selfish. But if you have a partner, you're creative together, but you have to draw the line, legal documents properly, everything. It's not friendship. I don't do friendship in business. I don't care who the person is, I don't do friendship in business. And this is where we fail again as Africans. We tend to, oh yeah, but she's my sister in the Lord. No. Like, that's not gonna work. Yes. Because I can't sue you as my sister, I'd rather not do business with you. Full stop. I know me, I'm too soft. I wouldn't sue you. I'll just let it go. So I won't do business with you. I won't do it. I say any money I can't let go, I don't give. If I can't let it go, I will not give it. So, have I got it wrong? Oh my goodness. If I tell you, there's a kind of womb at the moment that I have that I'm dealing with, and if I tell you, you'll be like, Caroline, please eat your own medicine. Honestly. So, standing here and making it sound like I'm so righteous, it's not true. I have got one that I'm dealing with at the moment, and it's painful, but hey, you learn from all of those things. So I'll say it again. If you can't let it go, don't do business with that. It's not because we're bad as Christians or Africans or sisters or uncles or whatever. It's because you're too passionate. And you wouldn't want to cross the boundaries and that's it. So I have an auntie that works with me, and she's probably about 5 years older than I am, and she's my mentor in relationship as a Christian and all that. But she understands when I say, no, Sister Shola, I think you've just overstepped the boundary there. Because it's work. Mm-hmm. And then she can be auntie later and tell me off. But whilst I'm at work and whilst we're doing boss stuff, I am your boss. I'll speak to you with respect, but you don't compromise my business. So how many of us feel confident that we can speak to people like, and if you can't, I call it witchcraft. Because if your staff are making your heart go beep, 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 and you can't speak to them and stuff, that means like, they own the business, right? Why should they make you feel a particular way? You should be praying, Father, get rid of them quick. So that's what I do. I just look, no, this thing is not working. Lord, you need to move fast before this, and that's it. But at the same time, I'm such an open book. I don't hide anything or do anything dodgy that anybody would. None. I'm so transparent. And that's what it's about. So your team are able to stand with you through thick and thin to know that, no, we trust you, Caroline, that you will do good by us. COVID taught all of us a lesson. We never lost a single staff. We didn't get rid of a single person. We kept every single person. Did I empty everything in my account? Yes. But did they pay their mortgage? Yes. Did they get paid? Yes. And that's it. And I've got teams that have with me for 17 years, 13 years, 12 years, and they're Caucasians. They're not like Africans, they're Caucasians. So that's a testament to your character as a person and how you treat people. Product pricing. With product pricing, I learned a lesson. I went to Goldman Sachs. I was blessed enough to be chosen out of the country, well, from the whole country, nationwide. 80 people got chosen to do Goldman Sachs 4 months leadership training course at Oxford University, and I got chosen. And I always thought, like, if you're reasonable or cheap, it's okay. You know, people would always come to you. No. Or if you think, oh, you're so kind that you don't have to increase your price. No, that's not it. Because then when you eventually increase your price, you can't do a big jump. You'd only go by £50 or £100 a month, or parents will start to calculate, oh my God, that's 200%. How do you get that? You know, so you've got to increase your price slowly. But why are you increasing your price? What value are you adding to them? You know, you can increase your price without you